Mark chapter 14, verses 1 to 21 from the Message translation. In only 2 days, the 8-day festival of Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread would begin. The high priest and religion scholars were looking for a way they could seize Jesus by stealth and kill him. They agreed that it would not be done during the Passover week. "We don't want these crowds up in arms," they said. Jesus was at Bethany, a guest of Simon the leper. While he was eating dinner, a woman came up, carrying a bottle of very expensive perfume. Opening the bottle, she poured it on his head. Some of the guests became furious among themselves. "That's criminal, a sheer waste. This perfume could have been sold for well over a year's wages and handed out to the poor." They swelled up in anger and nearly bursting with indignation over her. But Jesus said, "Let her alone. Why are you giving her a hard time? She has just done something wonderfully significant for me. You will have the poor with you every day for the rest of your lives. Whenever you feel like it, you can do something for them. Not so with me. She did what she could, when she could. She pre-anointed my body for burial. And you can be sure that wherever in the whole world this message is preached, what she did is going to be talked about admiringly." Judas Iscariot, one of the 12, went to the cabal of high priests, determined to betray him. They couldn't believe their ears and promised to pay him well as he started looking for just the right moment to hand him over. On the first of the days of unleavened bread, the day they prepared the Passover sacrifice, his disciples asked him, "Where do you want us to go to make preparations so you can eat the Passover meal?" He directed 2 of his disciples, "Go into the city. A man carrying a water jug will meet you. Follow him. Ask the owner of whichever house he enters. The teacher wants to know, where is my guest room where I can eat the Passover meal with my disciples? He will show you a spacious 2nd-story room, swept and ready. Prepare for us there." The disciples left, came to the city, and found everything just as he had told them, and prepared the Passover meal. After sunset he came with the 12. As they were at the supper table eating, Jesus said, "I have something hard but important to say to you. One of you is going to hand me over to the conspirators, one who is at this moment eating with me." Stunned, they started asking one another, "It isn't me, is it?" He said, "It's one of the 12, one who eats with me out of the same bowl." In one sense, it turns out that the Son of Man is entering into a way of treachery well marked by the Scriptures. No surprises here. In another sense, the man turns traitor to the Son of Man. Better never to have been born than to do this. Mark 14, verses 1 to 21 from the New International Version. Now the Passover and the festival of unleavened bread were only 2 days away, and the chief priests and teachers of the law were scheming to arrest Jesus secretly and kill him. But not during the festival, they said, or the people may riot. While he was in Bethany, reclining at the table in the home of Simon the leper, a woman came with an alabaster jar of very expensive perfume made of pure nard. She broke the jar and poured the perfume over his head. Some of those present were saying indignantly to one another, "Why this waste of perfume? It could have been sold for more than a year's wages and the money given to the poor." And they rebuked her harshly. "Leave her alone," said Jesus. "Why are you bothering her? She has done a beautiful thing to me. The poor you will always have with you, and you can help them any time you want. But you will not always have me. She did what she could. She poured perfume on my body beforehand to prepare for my burial. Truly, I tell you, wherever the gospel is preached throughout this world, what she has done will be also told in memory of her." Then Judas Iscariot, one of the 12, went to the chief priests to betray Jesus to them. They were delighted to hear this and promised to give him money, so he watched for an opportunity to hand him over. On the first day of the festival of unleavened bread, when it was customary to sacrifice the Passover lamb, Jesus' disciples asked him, "Where do you want us to go to make preparations for you to eat the Passover?" So he sent 2 disciples, telling them, "Go into the city, and a man carrying a jar of water will meet you. Follow him. Say to the owner of the house he enters, 'The teacher asks, where is my guest room, where I may eat the Passover with my disciples?' He will show you a large room upstairs, furnished and ready. Make preparations for us there." The disciples left, went into the city, and found things just as Jesus had told them. So they prepared the Passover. When the evening came, Jesus arrived with the 12. While they were reclining at the table eating, he said, "Truly I tell you, one of you will betray me, one who is eating with me." They were saddened, and one by one they said to him, "Surely you don't mean me?" "It is one of the 12, he replied, "one who dips bread into the bowl with me. The Son of Man will go just as it is written about him. But woe to that man who betrays the Son of Man. It would be better for him if he had not been born."